Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making bread. This is a very basic bread recipe. I would normally cook this in a Dutch oven, but I don't have one yet here, so I'm going to be using a loaf pan. Let's get to the recipe. I have here 3 cups and 2 tablespoons of flour, which I added 2 teaspoons of salt to. I have here about 6 grams of yeast in these little packets. It's about half of them. And I'm going to be adding 2 cups warm water to this, tablespoon of olive oil, tablespoon of maple syrup. You could also use honey or sugar depending on what you like. Now I'm going to mix this and get these dissolved and get it a little bubbly, and then I'm going to be mixing it with my bread flour. Now we won't be kneading the dough, it's a no knead dough, but in order to build gluten we're going to be folding in 20-minute intervals, so it's like a passive recipe but sort of takes time, you know. It will take about 4 hours before we get this into the oven. If you're going to be using a loaf pan like me, since 3 cups of flour is almost 500 grams of flour, it makes about 2 small loaves or 1 big loaf. So depending on what you like, you can go either way. Now I'm going to be mixing it. So this is about almost, I'd say 80-85% hydration, so it's going to be very sticky. One of these is usually enough to last us a whole week. For me and my husband, we only eat bread with breakfast. At dinner we usually have either rice, bulgur wheat, or something like that. So now this is the consistency. As you can see here, it's completely mixed, completely soft. You can even go a little bit more higher on the hydration. You can take it, but I won't be doing that because I think this is enough of a consistency. Now we'll cover this up with a clean, wet cloth and come back in 20 minutes to fold it. So the bread is in the oven. Now I know I said I'm going to be baking it in a loaf pan, but this time I wanted to try and see how is it gonna turn out, like without anything, without the Dutch oven, without being in a loaf pan. If I make it into a bread loaf and just put it in there, how is it gonna turn out? Is it gonna like spread to the sides, or it's gonna keep its bowl shape? Because we have built structure with the folding. It should keep its bowl shape, but we'll see. So this is how it turned out. Normally if I were to put this in a Dutch oven, it would rise to the top, but this way it rose to the sides because it did not have any restraints. So I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit, because if I cut it up now, the insides will be mushed, sort of doughy. We should wait to cut it. Just to get you guys to hear the sound of the crust. Very crusty, very store-bought like. The only difference is that the shape of it sort of turned rectangular and not like a ball. That's the only difference that I can see now. Once it cools in around 10 minutes, I'll cut into it and we'll see how it actually is. Very crusty. Success.